So we're here at the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, and wow, did you expect that you'd be getting a phone call sometime from Leroy Smith saying we'd like to honor you for your life outside of wrestling?
Absolutely came out of left field. Thrilled, honored. I mean, wrestling has meant an awful lot to me, and it was part of my life all the way through college at West Point. And then this many years, 35 plus years later, to get that phone call and say, hey, we would like to honor you because you were a wrestler, but for some of the things that you've done off the mat as well. So thrilled, honored, proud to be here. In a lot of ways, I don't feel like I belong, but I guess a lot of guys have that attitude. But to be next to the greats of a sport that has meant so much to me, that means a lot.
Yeah, no, and obviously high school and in college you were involved. I saw pictures of competitions that you were in. You ever think back to your wrestling career when you were, competing as a young man?
Oh, sure. I mean, heck, it started when I was in the 4th grade with my brothers. I wrestled with 2 of my brothers. We were all a year apart, so we were teammates, we were friends, we were wrestling buddies, and we did that all the way through middle school and high school, and all of us into college. In fact, I went to West Point with a brother, and we trained together at wrestling for Army. So it's meant the world. It's been a connection for my brothers. And again, to now be here 35 years later with my brother here in tow and my Army wrestling coach as part of the group for the weekend celebration, it really means a lot.
So why West Point? I mean, a lot of people, they don't start their careers and become a member of the military, an officer, that kind of thing. Why did you go that route?
Wrestling brought me there.
Oh,
in
yeah?
fact, I went to William & Mary, regular college. West Point in the military wasn't even on my radar screen. Wrestled at William & Mary, didn't love it. In the meantime, my younger brother starts at West Point. The coach that recruited me down to William & Mary had left and went to West Point, grabbed my brother, who was a state champ in New Jersey, so
Sure.
really good wrestler.
Absolutely.
And I saw all the amazing things that he was doing. Rappelling, survival training, shooting cannons, and all the stuff that he did sounded like such an amazing challenge that it essentially captivated me. I said, I want to do that. So I ended up following my younger brother
right?
into West Point, and then the 2 of us spent 3 years together at West Point, wrestled together, trained together, were each other's mutual support in a pretty tough environment. West Point's not an easy place to graduate from,
Yep.
so I had a built-in support system in my brother. So wrestling brought me to West Point, and ultimately my career in the military, and then beyond that. So in a lot of ways, as I look back on my life, my entire life's trajectory was influenced significantly by wrestling.
Now, you were deployed, you spent some time working overseas and being in interesting parts of the world. Did you take a lot out of your military career? Because obviously after you got out, you were able to go into the private world and do well, right?
Well, yeah, for me, I feel privileged and lucky to have started my career in service to country. That has meant the world to me, and I wish more of us here in America would start our careers, our lives in serving our country, because we are so fortunate to enjoy all the freedoms that we enjoy. So to have begun there meant a lot. And at the end, I went to a leadership school, and then I got to practice that leadership as an officer in the Army. And I've been just working on my leadership practice ever since. And all the lessons that I learned there, I've been just trying to apply in business with people. And for me, at the end, it's about servant leadership. I work for the organization. My job is to take care of people and do right by them and create environments where they can succeed. And by focusing on that, it's been a pretty decent success formula for me.
Well, decent. You got into the car industry, and a German company, right? Mercedes-Benz, right?
Well, ironically, my first duty station, I got stationed in Germany.
Okay.
When I left West Point, was there at a really interesting time. So I was a border patrol unit on the East German border when the wall came down. So I sort of had a front row seat to the end of the Cold War, which was a neat thing. And then when I got out of the Army after my 5-year commitment, I had learned the German language while I was stationed over in Germany. Sure. And then my first job was working for Mercedes-Benz. So kind of full circle, how you can see how all these kind of funny connections that maybe didn't make sense as I was going through them. Now as I look back on them, the one thing opened the door for the next thing, which opened the door for the next thing.
So you know, lots of executive positions, opportunities within the auto industry. But at one point, CEO, right? I mean, that's a very challenging and interesting journey, and you did a lot of different things in that industry before you ran the company. Just talk a little bit about what it took to succeed in that environment. A lot of people don't understand that business, but they all buy cars.
It wasn't a straight line journey. Went to a lot of different jobs. Had a couple of significant points along the way where took a big leap of faith out of my comfort zone. So I got an opportunity to go back to Germany to kind of live, eat, drink, sleep German 24/7. My German was pretty good when I said yes to that. It wasn't great, but I went over and I said yes to it. During that period, my German went from okay to great, and that became a real differentiator for me.
Yeah.
I was the American with an American point of view who sounded like a German working in Germany for a German company. And then they decided that they were going to build their first plant outside of Germany, and they wanted to send it to America. So who did they tap on the shoulder
Yeah.
to help do that? That was me. So it was a wonderful right place, right time, and I happened to be the right guy with the right point of view. And I took that moment, and that led to the next moment. And ultimately, I started my journey with Mercedes-Benz as the assistant to the CEO, kind of his chief of staff.
Yeah.
And about 18 years later, I got that CEO job. So pretty neat full circle journey.
How do you measure success? Obviously it's a for-profit thing. Is it all bottom line, or is it some of the things that you're able to achieve to get there?
Yeah, for me, it's not all bottom line. It's not just what you accomplish, it's how you accomplish it. So I'm a big believer in creating a great, vibrant culture inside of the organizations that I work. One of my leadership principles is that culture eats strategy for breakfast. So leaders need to focus on creating amazing cultures, and if they do that, the success outcomes will follow.
Yeah, so when we talk a little bit about the next step, it's into running businesses with a sports connection, right? I mean, you're right now, Falcons, the stadium, all kinds of things to do with sports. Did you ever think that as an athlete you would be running sports organizations?
Had no idea. So I had an amazing job in the car industry, and it's very rare that you get the opportunity to switch industries. You usually get sort of typecast. I'm a car guy. I've been in the car industry my whole career.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, an opportunity opened up through a connection to Arthur Blank, and he's the owner of the Falcons, and he was looking for a CEO for his new stadium and for his soccer franchise and for the Falcons and for his golf retail business. And right place, right time again, and threw my hat in the ring, and here I am working in the most amazing industry with soccer, with a stadium, with football and golf. So I pinch myself literally every single day. Every single day, the fact that I came from a sport, like sports is in my blood. Now I'm around world-class athletes, and it's so neat to be at the training ground, but for both our soccer team and for our Atlanta Falcons, and just to see how accomplished these athletes are, how big, how fast, how coordinated. It's so next level compared to my days as an athlete. Sure. So to be near them, to be near a team that is just focused on doing their best, on coming together and on winning, that is a contagious atmosphere. And what I try to do is I try to take that and make sure that I can transport it into the business of sports, which is selling out stadiums and bringing concerts into our Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So the business of sport is a lot of fun, but all the same principles apply.
Oh yeah, no, that's great. So I mean, is there a next, or I mean, so you think you're going to stay in sports through the end of your working career?
Who knows? I thought there was no next after Mercedes-Benz, because I was working for a global top 10 brand, and how does it get any better than Mercedes-Benz? And then all of a sudden this amazing life opportunity came around. I love what I do. I work for an incredible, iconic entrepreneur in Arthur Blank. He was the founder of Home Depot, the second largest retailer on the planet. So he's created this amazing business model. He's driven by a set of core values that I deeply share. And so I feel really privileged and lucky every single day to lead an organization that is as diverse as our organization is. So I don't know if there's a next. I don't think there's a next. I'm happy where I am, and if I'm lucky enough to keep running this business right on through till I head into the barn, that'll be a great outcome.
Well, you know, the wrestling community takes great pride when wrestlers succeed not only on the mat but off, you know, and it's kind of what this award's all about, right? You have some family here, friends, people that are going to share this with you?
I've got my brother. He was one of my training buddies, and you know, he wrestled all the way through college. Went to George Washington, and we now have an annual trip. We go to the NCAA finals each year, and it's just a bonding opportunity for us as brothers. So it means the world. My wrestling coach from Army at West Point is here, along with a couple of the assistant coaches. So the fact that I've got kind of that group with me here at a moment that is unexpected but so wonderful, I feel really, really grateful.
Well, congratulations. We enjoy the opportunity to meet you and learn more about your life, because certainly people in wrestling love the success stories, and for sure that's what we're celebrating here, and it's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you very much.